Ladies and gentlemen, success is often seen as a finish line, a trophy, a status, a destination. But true success doesn't begin with money in your bank, a title on your desk, or applause from the crowd. It starts long before the world recognizes you. It starts in silence. It starts in solitude. It starts in how you treat yourself. Because real, lasting success starts with self-respect. Self-respect is the invisible foundation on which every meaningful achievement is built. Without it, success becomes an illusion, a fragile image built for others, while your soul quietly suffers behind the scenes. With it, even the smallest victories are celebrated with genuine pride. Because you didn't compromise who you are to win, you honored yourself all the way through. As Eleanor Roosevelt said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Self-respect is reclaiming that consent. It's drawing the line and saying, "This is where I end and the world begins." It's no longer apologizing for taking up space. It's knowing you are enough before you prove a single thing. So many people chase achievement hoping it will finally give them permission to respect themselves. They think if they just get that promotion, buy that car, hit that subscriber count, they'll finally feel valuable. But it doesn't work that way. Because if you don't respect yourself without success, you won't respect yourself with it. You'll just move the goalpost again and again, still feeling empty, still seeking permission to be proud of who you are. Self-respect flips the script. It says, "I'm already worthy. I'm already enough. I will build from here." As Brené Brown once said, "Talk to yourself like someone you love," because self-respect starts with how you speak to yourself. If you constantly criticize, shame, and belittle yourself internally, you teach your mind that disrespect is normal. And if you don't stop it inside, it will show up outside, in your relationships, your decisions, your standards. When you respect yourself, you speak differently. You walk differently. You stop chasing what devalues you. You stop explaining your worth to people who can't see it. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You stop waiting for permission and start giving yourself direction. Oscar Wilde once said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." And self-respect is exactly that. It's choosing to be authentically you, even when it would be easier to conform. It's refusing to betray your values just to fit into rooms where you don't belong. It's standing your ground, even when your knees shake. Because pretending might win you approval, but it will never bring you peace. When you respect yourself, you raise your standards, not out of arrogance, but out of awareness. You realize your time is valuable. Your energy is sacred. Your presence is a privilege. You no longer give your best to people who give you their worst. You stop accepting almost love, barely loyalty, and someday respect. Steve Maraboli once said, "The most powerful relationship you will ever have is the relationship with yourself." That relationship sets the tone for every other connection in your life. When you treat yourself with honor, you teach others how to treat you. When you keep your own promises, you build self-trust. When you protect your peace, you send a message to the world that your well-being is non-negotiable. Self-respect doesn't mean perfection. It means progress. It means looking in the mirror and saying, "I may not be where I want to be, but I will not shame myself into change. I will grow from love, not from loathing." It's about giving yourself grace for the past and strength for the future. As Maya Angelou said, "If I am not good to myself, how can I expect anyone else to be good to me?" The way you treat yourself creates a blueprint. If you constantly betray yourself, by saying yes when you mean no, by ignoring your needs, by silencing your truth, don't be surprised when the world mirrors that behavior. But when you decide, "I will no longer tolerate what drains me," everything changes. You walk away from the job that devalues you. You end the relationship that disrespects you. You stop chasing the friend who only shows up when it's convenient. You become the kind of person who doesn't settle. Not because you're better than anyone else, but because you finally realize you were never meant to live beneath your potential. When you carry self-respect, you carry yourself with a different energy. You no longer hustle for worth. You no longer beg to be seen. You no longer explain why you deserve better. You simply embody it. You live it. You show it in your silence, your confidence, your calm refusal to entertain what doesn't align with your truth. There will be moments when walking in self-respect costs you. You'll lose people. You'll lose opportunities that came with conditions. You'll face criticism from those who benefited from your self-abandonment. But what you gain is far greater. You gain peace. You gain clarity. You gain freedom. As Jim Rohn said, you must take personal responsibility. You cannot change the circumstances, the seasons, or the wind, but you can change yourself. That starts with choosing how you treat yourself. That starts with respecting your own voice more than the noise of the crowd. Self-respect also means having the courage to start again. To leave what's familiar if it no longer serves you. To change directions if the current one is leading you away from your purpose. It's having the audacity to believe that your future can be greater than your past, not because it's easy, but because you are worth the effort it will take. Respecting yourself doesn't mean you'll never fall. It means you rise without blaming others. It means you take responsibility for your choices, your growth, your healing. It means you stop outsourcing your worth to other people's opinions. You stop waiting to be saved. You become your own rescue. When you anchor yourself in self-respect, life may not get easier, but it becomes clearer. Decisions become easier. You know what's a yes and what's a no. You don't linger in confusion because your values speak louder than your fears. You don't get manipulated by guilt or pressured by popularity because you've already made peace with who you are. As Shannon L. Alder wrote, one of the greatest regrets in life is being what others would want you to be rather than being yourself. Self-respect sets you free from that regret. It gives you the courage to live truthfully, speak boldly, and love deeply, starting with yourself. So if you want to be successful, begin by asking yourself, do I respect me? Do I show up for myself the way I show up for others? Do I treat my goals like they matter? Do I speak to myself like someone who deserves kindness, patience, and forgiveness? Because when you respect yourself, you stop hiding. You stop playing small. You stop asking for what you already deserve. You start creating. You start leading. You start building a life that matches the greatness within you. As Denzel Washington once said, ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. And self-respect is rarely the easy path. But it is the honest one. It asks you to make hard decisions, to cut ties with your past, to disappoint those who want you to stay predictable. But it also gives you something that ease never will: dignity. That dignity is what success is built on. Not the shallow kind that depends on popularity, but the deep, steady kind that lasts through storms, silence, and setbacks. So I challenge you today, start there. Start with self-respect. Build from there. Let it shape your choices. Let it refine your standards. Let it become your compass when life gets confusing. Let it become your filter for relationships, opportunities, and dreams. Because when you walk with self-respect, you walk taller. You speak clearer. You love better. You rise faster. You lead stronger. And you don't just become successful, you become unstoppable.